Welcome, everybody, back to the Watts Table Talks podcast. Today we are here with special guest Mom again, two times in a row. Oh, not two times in a row, but two times now. We got Jaron
Yep.
Watts, Hayden Watts, Kevin Knox, and me, Mason Watts, the narrator of today's episode, which is Music Part 2. And Grandpa had a good idea of gathering some lyrics we thought were meaningful to us from songs. And I don't know, do you want to share first?
Me? Sure.
All right.
So I think the reason I wanted to do that is because like we all have like 1,000 favorite songs and maybe 100 that we know that we love, but there's some songs that are more impactful. Some songs, when I was trying to figure this out, some songs you listen to, they don't they give you a message overall, but and you really like the song, but they may not have a unique message. The lyrics might not mean much, but you might love the song. Other songs, there's there's a catch there somewhere that the lyrics sort of resonate with you or speak to you. So that was I thought we would just have some fun with this, but apparently it's it's a little more than fun right at this point in time. Um, so um, so what I thought we would do is, if you like, we could each just do one and then go around, then start again, so that because if I do mine, it's going to take like half an hour, and you guys are just going to be sitting idly by, right?
That's what I was thinking
Yeah.
too.
So I've got three songs, as you guys all do, right? So the first one that I'm going to talk about is "Good Night, Good Guy" by Collective Soul, and the one chorus I like is "Who's going to straighten me up when I'm leaning? Who's going to soothe my head when it's burning? And who's going to be the one to tell me everything's all right? Good night, good guy." So I think for me, the resonating part there is like, who does that for you? Who's that person that's going to tell you when everything's okay? Or who's that person that's going to tell you that you need to straighten up? So that's the part that resonates me. Like, who is that? Who is that person? This song was written about a friend who was dying, but it could be anybody, right? It doesn't have to be a guy, a girl. It's called "Good Night, Good Guy," but it could be anything. It could be your daughter, your grandson,
Your
your
dad.
granddad telling you that you're not, you're not towing the line or you're not following the correct path. So I really like the whole song, but that if we're talking about just three or four lines of a verse, that one really, really resonates with me. And I don't know, I think that's kind of the theme for all three of my songs is some guidance, some guiding light, some who's going to provide energy in your life. So anyway, that's my first one, and that's my reasons for picking that song. And I really, really like the song. Any
What album is
comment?
it off of?
Um, Hints and Allegations, their very first album from 1993. I think I think you'll find I think all three of my songs, well, two of them for sure, where the whole song just resonates with me. But yeah, you're right. It's it's got some other lines in it. That's just to me the most powerful. That's the opening verse of the song, and it's the kind of the most powerful one.
And when you say it resonates with you, that's like every time you hear
I
that
think that
song, you like go into deep thought
no, I don't.
about
I wouldn't say deep thought because I've thought it through
like
1,000. I don't think I have anything to add to it now. Every time I hear it, I think about who's that person that's going to do that for me, and who's good. You sort of who's behind you when you're falling, and who's going to pick you up if you do fall.
yeah.
Okay, Mace,
Hmm.
you're up.
I'm up. I had a lot more than three, so I'm gonna have to narrow it down. But for my first one, um, this one is
Oh God.
Time in a Bottle, and the verse is, if I had a box just for wishes and dreams that had never come true, the box would be empty except for the memory of how they were answered by you. And obviously, that doesn't personally resonate with me yet, but I like the lyrics because of how like poetic and like beautiful it is of basically just saying you're everything I ever wanted. And
Very poetic.
the whole song is like that. But I think that line in like specific, using like the metaphor of the box and everything, just was like, wow, what a great line. Why didn't I think
Who
of
is the
that?
artist?
Jim,
Who's the artist?
I gotta make sure I say his name right.
Jim Croce.
Yeah, Crochet. I didn't know how to say his last name.
Wait, so Dad, you know that song?
Of course I do.
Of course he does. You don't?
Oh, it's like an older song.
It's from the 70s. Well,
It was
Jim
probably
Croce
on that.
Jim Croce
iPod.
was killed in 1973 or 1974. So yeah, it's quite old.
Wow. Impressive,
Yeah.
Mason. Very impressive.
Well,
You know me.
you're going to find out throughout this whole thing that him and I have sort of this connection to music. Maybe other
He
things
is
too.
he is pretty nostalgic. I'm starting to learn more and more. I think we should get Hayden to speak. He's kind of quiet over there in the dark.
Sorry,
Yeah.
I've been trying to trouble fix this thing.
Do you have a song picked out?
I do.
I think
Let's
I can
hear
guess
it.
one of his.
Guess.
It's
It's
is it 21
Totally
Pilots?
21 Pilots. Yeah.
I can't
All of it
see
has
you,
to
but
be
I'm gonna
21
guess I got it
Pilots.
right.
Not all of it has to be 21 Pilots, by the way.
But it is.
Better not be.
Or it could be.
There could be, yeah.
Okay, well, let's hear
Right.
Hayden. What's your first one?
Stressed Out by 21 Pilots. Okay. The lines was wish we could turn back time to the good old days when our mamas sang us to sleep and now we're stressed out. Okay.
Ooh.
Just that one because
Ooh, very nostalgic.
well, sometimes life could be very stressful, and sometimes I wish I could just go back to when I was like very, very little and we just kind of live life with no worries, sort of thing.
You're still in school.
Yeah,
Just you wait.
Live free. Mhm.
that's a stress right there. I wish
Oh man,
it was easier, but
it only
the
gets better,
calculus,
buddy.
calculus is hard.
That song is pretty powerful, I think, especially for me, you, and Mason, because
We'd
we
always
used to,
sing it.
yeah, we
a
would
lot.
drive on the highway to Calgary and we would blast that song and sing it at the top of our lungs.
That's
And
another
you
one
guys were
'cause, like,
so
yeah.
little.
Jaren and Mason, would you guys agree with that too? Like, was that
Yeah.
a song you guys would have picked or a
That-
lyric that you would have picked?
That is a good one.
That's a good one. Yeah.
But it's sort of, so the theme is the same as mine, is like, who's going to, it's about stresses in life, and it's who's going to pick you up when you fall, and where do you go to when you have a when
Yeah.
you're straight out completely, right?
Mhm.
Well, you
Yeah.
send your dad a text message and you say, "Hey, Dad, I need to have a dad talk."
Exactly, that's what you do.
Jaren, are you going?
Yeah, I can go.
Mac Miller.
Okay. I can not do that first, but I'm going to anyways because it's pretty obvious. Okay. So this song is called Colors and Shapes, and the lyrics go something like this. While beneath the ocean, I met with the captain who sank to the floor on his ship. All of his passengers escaped to safety, but he was not done with his trip. He looked up and smiled, asked me, "How do you do?" I told him I'm losing my grip. He told me, "Son, if you want to hold on to yourself, then let yourself slip." So essentially, the meaning behind those lyrics is stop trying to take control and, just go with the flow. It's like a universal trust fall. Because the more you try controlling everything around you, the more you're going to hold yourself back. So embrace the unknown, I guess.
Ooh,
It's the only way to grow. Yeah.
that's pretty profound as well. I mean, when you first started reading it, I didn't quite understand where it was headed, right? But then
Mhm.
as you finished, the last couple lines kind of explained it, and then you did a really good job of explaining. So
Yeah.
do you think, now here's a question, do you think he thought the same thing when he was writing it?
Maybe to a certain degree.
Because we could probably all listen to a song lyrics and have a different interpretation of it, and it might all be completely different than what the artist was writing or what the intent was, right?
It's all
Yeah.
perspective. Yeah.
That's the beauty, is it's all perspective. Yeah.
Yeah, I think he must have had some sort of inkling to what he was writing. Maybe there's
Well,
a deeper meaning, an even deeper meaning to it, but
it could
that's
be
kind of
even
how I
deeper.
perceived it.
Because you think he was a pretty deep guy, right?
Yeah, I'd say so.
I think he
In your
definitely
opinion.
was, for sure.
Okay, Kel, it's up to you now.
Oh boy. Do I go with the one that you guys probably have predicted, or do I go with another
Good
one?
Charlotte or
Good Charlotte.
No?
Or Good Charlotte.
Yeah, okay. Well, then I'll start with my Good Charlotte one. Um, so the Good Charlotte one that I picked, because I could have picked all of them pretty much, is Mountain. And the lyrics go like this: I wasn't on a mountain when it came to me. All my life's been wasted chasing shallow dreams. Years go by and nothing's slowing down the time. Years go by and then they're wasted.
is that the one that's on your arm
On my back?
or your back?
Yeah. So I
That-
just think like people spend so much time chasing after things, and then all of a sudden they're, 80 or 70 or 45, and they forget like the moments. And I think that's what that song's about for me.
So
You know what?
live in the moment.
Yeah, like living in the moment and paying attention to what's happening around you in the now, and
And
just
that
like
stuff doesn't matter.
yeah, and the stuff doesn't matter.
You can accumulate all of the toys you want, the garbage you want over your lifetime, and at the end of the day, it just doesn't matter. It
And
just
that
The
song
experiences.
And that song obviously has had meaning to me for so many years. I mean, like it
Yeah.
was like, yeah, I think like ever since I heard it, I just realized that that's the type of person that I want to be. But then I somehow, like everyone, I think you fall back into but it's so nice to have the things and you forget about the moments, and then something happens and then you realize that you have to focus on those moments again. So
You know what? Your same perspective on a song will change over your lifetime. As you
yeah,
mature, as the surroundings around you change, as incidents in your life happen, you could probably, I mean, if you could go back to a 20-year-old you and play that song and go, ooh, that's how I should live my life. And then when you're 30, you don't, right? Like
yeah.
you said, you fall off the path and then you're back on it again, right?
Yep. Yep,
Good one.
exactly.
Back to me again. So this isn't as bad as you thought, is it?
Who? Me? I was just
You.
crying. Can't even read my lyrics. It is bad.
I got a couple
Okay, this
savvy
is
ones.
Oh boy. This one is this one's a Bruce Springsteen song. How come I can't remember the name of it? If I Should Fall Behind, sorry. So then the lyrics to this one are, we swore we'd travel, darling, side by side. We'd help each other stay in stride. But each lover's step falls so differently. I'll wait for you, and if I should fall behind, wait for me. So
Whoa.
kind of almost like the first one, right? It's relationship. It's different pace. Here's how I read it anyway. Bruce probably would tell you differently. It's the pace at which our relationships grow, or the people in our relationships. And if one happens to fall behind, you should wait for that person. You shouldn't get so far ahead of that person in either your maturity or in how you view life, right? And so this was also the song we played at our wedding, just so you guys know. But it truly just for me is about if you should fall behind, I'll wait for you, and if I fall behind, you should wait for me.
There you go.
There you
That's
go.
a good
pretty
one
deep.
too.
Oh,
Wow.
yeah.
So
Yes.
is that your relationship advice for the day too?
Yeah, like I told the boys on one earlier podcast, don't ask me for relationship
Yeah.
advice. Well, you can now because I'm way more mature, but hey, Mace.
Oof. So this song is called "Let It Happen" by Tame Impala, and I'm sure you can guess the message. But the lyrics go, I heard a whirlwind that's coming round. It's gonna carry off all that isn't bound. And when it happens, I won't be holding on. So let it happen. Let it happen. And this, the whole song basically is just about embracing change and letting go. Nothing is forever. So you gotta surrender to the inevitable changes of life and let it happen.
There you go.
That's very impressive.
Nice.
And it was kind of close to Jaren's, but it's different.
But it's still different. It's definitely got its own powerful message for sure. Jaren's is more about like and maybe this is where it's the same too, but Jaren's was about, you know, letting go of the control, and yours is just about, you know,
Ta-
letting things be, which is about letting go of the control at the same time.
Yeah. And the whole song
Very, very powerful for
is
sure.
really good. And we get to see it live.
It's like Let It Be by the Beatles, I think.
Beatles.
Beatles, yep.
Yeah.
That was going to be one of my songs, just so you know.
Hayden,
Okay.
what's your next song?
My
21
next one
Pilots.
is not 21 Pilots. Ooh, tricked you. Okay. This one is by Mac Miller.
Oh.
Ooh,
Song Best Day Ever.
love it.
Okay,
That
so
was probably one of Mom's.
the line is no matter where life takes me, find me with a smile, pursuit to be happy, only laughing like a child. I never thought life would be this sweet. It got me cheesing from cheek to cheek. So pretty much this very much contradicts my last song because the last one was like, oh,
I was gonna say
nostalgia.
that.
But this one's like, you know, life is a very, very awesome thing. You should be very happy with it. And I also very much agree with like this line as well with the stressed out one because, well, yeah, life could be hard and stuff, but at the end of the day, we're all lucky to be where we are in each day in our lives, so we should appreciate that and be happy about it.
Perfect.
Also, when you listen to that song, it like instantly makes you feel happy. Like you can feel that the lyrics to that song, the impact of those lyrics, because you're instantly joyful. You want to start like dancing and you want to start singing to it, and you just are instantly happy when you hear that song.
Yeah, and also like the song in general just has like that like nice happy vibe to it. It's like
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm glad you didn't pick Donald Trump. I think that Grandpa might have been a little bit upset with you.
Yep, he would have been.
Well,
You
that
could have
song's
picked,
a bit different.
you could
So
have picked Don't Worry, Be Happy if you want just a happy song.
Don't
Oh,
worry.
true. I was thinking about that song.
Were you really?
Yeah.
That would have been
Because you
funny.
can't help but be happy when you hear that song, as much as you probably hate it sometimes.
Okay, so this next one is These Days by the Black Keys.
Ooh.
Bet you weren't expecting that.
No.
Okay, so the lyrics go, something like this. Uh, the little house on Ellis Drive is where I felt most alive. The oak tree covered that old Ford. I miss it, Lord. These blood red eyes don't see so good, but what's worse is if they could, would I change my ways? So this also has a hint of nostalgia to it in the first line there with the little house on Ellis Drive is where I felt most alive. So, you know, just kind of bringing you back to the places where you grew up. You know, you felt most alive because you're young and carefree.
Innocent, right?
Yeah,
Innocent.
exactly. You could do whatever you want, pretty much is what it felt like. And you were free from the restraints of the world
Oh, good.
and responsibility.
Good one.
Nice.
But the way that it's sung is very powerful too. He's got a lot of emotion when he sings that second part where these blood red eyes don't see so good, but what's worse is if they could, would I change my ways? He has a lot of emotion when he sings that, so I recommend you guys take a listen when you can.
We should all listen
Well,
to
we should
some of
all
these
listen to
songs.
all of them, right?
Yeah.
Okay, Cal, you're up.
All right. You guys all know this one. You might be surprised that it's on my list though, except for Hayden. So this one is Good Riddance by Green Day. Take the
Ooh.
take the photographs and still frames in your mind, hang it on a shelf in good health and good time, tattoos of memories and dead skin on trial. For what it's worth, it was worth all the while. So this one is impactful to me because, well, first of all, it kind of goes back to my first song, but it's different in that I think it's like really important to take all of the memories of your life, the good, the bad, the fun, the stupid things that you did, and just they're a part of you. Like, you know, like just embrace them kind of thing. I think that everything that we do leading up to where we are, whether we look back on it now and go, man, that was really dumb, it creates the person that we are. We have to make those mistakes to become who we are. We have to, you know, have the good things to become who we are. So that's kind of what that song means to me, is just take your life and remember everything about it and how it has developed who you are as a person. So that's kind of where I'm at with that one.
You know what, you've missed, I don't know if you've watched all of the podcasts yet, but we have talked about that, about how everything you do impacts who you are at the end of the day, and the good, the bad, the ugly, the indifferent, they all part of the jigsaw puzzle that make up what you are today, right? And
Yeah.
you better learn from your mistakes, because if you don't learn from your mistakes, then you're in trouble. So
Perfect.
rather than do our go around for the third time, because this is a music episode, let's just talk about some music stuff, and then we'll do our last one a little bit later on. Is that
I don't
okay?
even have a third one, honestly, because I had a whole bunch of songs, but like you said earlier, it was more the song than just one verse or chorus.
Yeah.
It was the whole song entirely.
Exactly.
That's me too. I have like 3 songs written down, but I didn't write down any of the lyrics because it was just like the power of the whole song.
Yeah.
Yes, sometimes you can't just chop one one frame out or whatever. You have to have the whole song, so that's fair. I think Mason and I could fill the next 2 hours with the songs, but so
Yeah, no
I
kidding.
wanted to tell you a music story. So of course we're down in Mexico with and we're hanging around with Darlene and Luis a lot. And Luis has been in a band since he was a youngster. He was born in Mexico City, but grew up in Mazatlan since he was, I think, 5, he said, and he's 60. So And his brother and uncle, they play weekly, 4 days a week, and Mr. Leonzo's, which Jaron and I have had the pleasure of being in for
Yeah,
that's got the snake tequila that I sent a picture.
Oh yeah.
very,
Right.
very cool restaurant.
Very cool. So we've been twice now, and maybe go one more before we leave. But because Fernando and Uncle Joe are playing there 4 nights a week, so we started to go, and Luis likes to play with them in the band. So him and I have had this ongoing music. He watched episode 1. He really, really liked what we're doing. He has his own podcast, but he's got one in Spanish that he does when he's here. And then he's trying to do one when we get back to Alberta. He wants me to do a podcast with him.
Oh.
So the discussion is just around this part of his discussion is around music in general. And his likes are so different than mine. And he doesn't understand, I don't think understands why I like the kind of music I do. And he likes like Black Sabbath and Megadeth and
Oh.
that kind of heavier sort of an attitude. And I tell him I like songs that I understand the words and that I can. Just what we're talking about here is the lyrics. If you're listening to some heavy metal, sometimes you can't hear the lyrics anyway. So we were at a beach club the other day, and there was a band playing there. Not a very good one, but a band nonetheless. And him and I got into a discussion about the band is doing all cover songs, and he doesn't understand it. He said, I don't understand why these guys are not coming up with their own music. And I said, well, first of all, you've got a whole pile of senior retired people down here. Do you think they want to listen to some 25-year-old garage band's lyrics? Or do they want to listen to Sweet Caroline, Moni Moni, stuff they can
Things that
scream
they're familiar with.
and they know all of the words to, and they're all sitting on the beach. They've been there for 6 hours, they're sunburnt, and they've drank 12 Pacifico. And you want them to listen to some 25-year-old's music? I said, it doesn't work that way. And he goes, but it just makes me angry. I said, it's a job to these guys. It's not a career. Most of these guys have other jobs, right? They're not looking to cut the next big album.
Yeah.
And he sort of doesn't, I don't think he quite, I think he might, I mean, he agrees with me, but I think he's just one of those musicians who believes in his music. And he traveled around Mexico. He's traveled the world, but traveled around Mexico playing, he plays bass guitar, and he's really, really good at it. And he's had bands all of his life. He's been in a band of some kind. He's fronted for, some fairly big bands. I he was telling me, I don't remember who exactly, but and he's a huge music fan. It's about $100 Canadian to fly from here to Mexico City and back. And he'll fly. Mexico City gets all of the big bands in the world. He has seen everybody. He has seen, it doesn't matter, the Beatles with Paul McCartney. Even to this day, Mexico City still gets the largest bands in the world. So he'll just get on a plane one morning and fly to Mexico City and to watch a band, and then he'll come home the next morning or whatever from here. So anyway, from a music perspective, that's why we're doing this music podcast. Podcast 2 is because of our love for music. I was thinking about it last night. It kind of amazes me that we could have 2 podcasts out of the 6 or whatever we've done, and them are on music, and we could do a third one probably quite easily.
Yeah.
But I wanted to throw in that sort of that lyric thing at the beginning because I thought it was kind of a neat idea for us to kind of break the ice on what drives our music tastes. Why, Grandma Shirley and I yesterday, we spent the whole day. I'd already picked out my songs, but I said to her, what would you pick? What songs would you pick? But like us, she says a lot of the songs you can't just pick out a lyric because there's a
Yeah.
flow there's a flow to the whole song, and it just ruins it if you sort of pull a lyric out of the middle of it somewhere. But yeah. Anyway, I just wanted to. It's funny how Luis and I have a sort of a differing view on music, and yet his love for music is as strong as anybody I know. He's got two bass guitars back home in Pinoca, and he's got two here that he leaves here and at his mom's place, and he played with Uncle Joe and Fernando the other night, and he's really really good at it. So that helps too, right?
I also find that some people that like musicians have kind of a different perception, or not perception, but they view music a little bit differently because they're the ones actually playing the instruments. So like Black Sabbath or a band that's very technical, a musician can appreciate a lot more than, let's say,
Like a bubblegum, he doesn't like the
yeah,
bubblegum type music, right? Because to him it's too simple. It's
exactly.
very, very commercial, and true musicians probably don't like that, do they?
Well, it also depends on your taste and how you grew up.
No, but I mean, they don't like
music,
people they don't like people that are kicking out music just to make money, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that also kind of has an effect on how people view music, right?
That's a good point.
Yeah.
I think like Paul is the perfect example of, like he had a concert at Festival Place and he played pretty much his own music for the whole concert. But then, he did a show at Scona High School last week and he was here, or he'll go play at, Central Social Hall and he'll do cover songs, because on those nights when he's getting paid to be in those places, he is getting paid to entertain. But at Festival Place, he was paying to put on that show for people, and that's his way of like promoting, this is what I'm doing, this is who I am.
And people also came to see him, opposed to people are just in a bar or whatever, and they just want to hear music that they're familiar with.
Yeah.
But even when he was at Festival Place, I think he played one cover song that everybody knew, and his wife was like, he even said, he's like, my wife is gonna kill me for doing this when I play my own music. So, and she's also an artist, a musician, so you can kind of see, people, even musicians, want other musicians to play their own music if they have it.
So now you can appreciate what Luis is talking about to me, right? And by the way, his nickname is Luigi. So if you look at his Facebook site, so anyway, but now you can appreciate where he's coming from then, right? When he's talking to me about his music and the music that he doesn't like, is because he doesn't want to play cover songs his whole life. He never wants to. And now I think Paul has a really good point. People come to hear him play his music. If he gets asked to go to a wedding or something like we did at your place, Kelly, people don't, maybe intersperse some of your own music in there, but people are there to hear the cover songs.
Like we had him there to provide music so that people, and entertainment. And like as good as his music is, it's more engaging with people for them to have familiar songs.
I did ask him to play one of his songs when he was there.
I know you did. I know. Yeah. I was like, but there was Mason who was begging him to play one of his songs, but
well, he said he was going to reach out to me because I was giving him ideas on cover songs to play. He doesn't have a really big repertoire of cover songs because he probably doesn't do them that often. He even told me that. He said he just, his list of songs, but remember when he showed us his playlist, was not something I would have thought if you were sort of going to pubs, bars with a bunch of drinking people, right?
He's also got to make it work for his live looping too.
Yes, of course.
Yeah, so
that's true.
I don't know if there's a limitation on the amount of various songs that he can play, or
I'm sure there probably is.
Works, but yeah. So what are some of the songs that you guys had but didn't want to just take chunks of the like, lyrics themselves out? What are the whole songs, I guess?
Well, I'll go
Ooh.
first because I think Grandpa will appreciate this one. But the Aerosmith "Don't Want to Miss a Thing" I think is like pretty powerful for me because Grandpa and I have got to dance to two songs together. One was at my grad, and then one was at my wedding, and that's the one that we danced to at the wedding. And I think it was pretty meaningful because Grandpa picked that song out specifically, for some of the lyrics. But that's like a love song out of a movie, right? But Grandpa and I knew that the meaning was a little bit differently. It was more about his daughter growing up and him not wanting to miss anything about it. But I think
Okay,
that that song,
just so
what?
you know, that is my third song.
Oh, sorry, sorry,
Just so you know.
sorry,
And
sorry. But I don't think
Oh.
you can I think you can pick out some of the lyrics, but I think like the whole song is so, well, for me, it's just meaningful because of the memories, right? Like I just remember how excited we were to dance to that song and for Grandpa to pick it out. And it was just like a very meaningful moment. And just so you know, Dad, when we were picking Hayden's suit out yesterday, I tried to convince him to buy Birkenstocks for his grad, but he wasn't having
he
anything to
wasn't
do
going
with
there.
it. No.
I'll
Okay.
follow up. I can
Okay.
follow up. So mine, one of the songs that I had was "Old Man" by Neil Young.
Oh, yes.
Mm.
Old man, take a look at my life. I'm a lot like you
I'm a
were.
lot like you were. Yes, yes. So basically exploring the shared humanity between generations, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
I think it's a pretty deep song when you look at the three generations here.
True.
Yeah.
Yes.
Very.
But
What about
yeah,
you,
there wasn't.
Mace?
The Pina Colada song. Just kidding.
Oh,
What
Cheating on your wife with your wife.
one of I had the lyrics here, but like the whole song, I'm gonna skip, like this isn't gonna be my last one, but the whole song, My Way, Frank Sinatra. I've
yep. I
told
like
all
that
my
one.
friends, I'm like, this better be played at my funeral. This is like, and it was gonna be my Australia song too for my video.
Is there a dumber song than Pina Colada song?
It's actually pretty
Yeah.
smart.
No, it is not. If you think about it,
A
if you
musician would say it's smart.
if you think about the whole context of it, where you both dump each other and then you meet up and you go, "Hey, there's nothing wrong with this." Yes, there is. You were both looking for extramarital bliss somewhere. Now, the fact that you found it in one another probably helps, like long term, right? Well, gee, we were both looking for the same thing and we didn't know it. But I
Yeah,
think it's dumb.
I find it hilarious. I find it hilarious.
I also put down, you guys are gonna just like think I'm crazy, but Car Radio, I think is pretty
Oh yeah.
powerful, by 21 Pilots, just because I think it has like a lot deeper meaning than just the lyrics go to. For me, it's about like living in your head and the silence in your head and getting too caught up in your head, you know?
Yeah.
Um,
Hmm.
and then I also chose Damn It by Blink-182. Even though
Oh,
it's like
wow.
about a relationship and like facing, the end of a relationship. And then, but it's also about like, this is a part of growing up. These are stages of life, and this is a part of growing up. And sometimes it sucks, but this is what happens. So, Hayden, did I give you enough time there?
Yeah, I think I found a pretty um good one. It's Good Day by 21 Pilots.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Okay,
look
so
at
pretty much it's a very catchy, upbeat song, but the lyrics are like kind of like not like super dark, but like pretty sad. And what it's pretty much about is although these bad things are happening to you, sometimes the best way to cope with it is just being like positive in a way. But
Yeah.
like because like in the song, um, he says that like, or he gives examples of bad things that happened to him, but then at the end of that, he says it's a good day, even though a bunch of those things happened. So I feel like that is a pretty good way to deal with things is to still try and be positive. Like obviously not hide stuff because burying things that aren't good is not healthy, but just trying to be as positive as you can at the end of the day. I feel like that's very important.
Yeah, and it's all about like it's all about your attitude, right?
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Don't worry, be happy.
Well, and we've talked about that in previous podcasts about being honest,
Yeah.
being truthful to yourself and other people,
Yeah.
right? You know, it's really, really important that that you're honest. So anyway, I'm going to cheat because yesterday I watched an interview. So one of the songs that I had was going to pick, it was the toss up my third between this one and the other one that I did pick that you mentioned that I'm going to talk about was a song by Bread, and it's called "Baby I'ma Want You." And for years, um, they thought it was written about a girl, and then they found out it was written about like David Gates, the singer for Bread, wrote it about his dad, and so it's really an impact. I like it. So how could you write a song that everybody for years thought it was about a girl, and it was about his dad? But one line it says, "Lately I'm a praying that you'll always be here, staying beside me. Used to be my life was just emotions passing by, feeling all the while and never really knowing why." So, you know, that like that's what the whole song is. If you just read the lyrics to the song, it's really a profound, emotional kind of song. So that's why I'm cheating. Like this was one I wanted to pick, but yeah, if you ever get a chance. So does nobody else have a third song except for Mason and I?
I can share mine.
We got
Another
some
one.
slackers
I
over
just thought of.
here.
Some slackers. You
No,
slacker.
You
I'll do it right now.
slacker.
Okay, Jared, go
I'll
ahead.
I'll go right now. I'll go right now. Okay, so this one is called Everybody, uh, and it's pretty much the same lyrics throughout, but the way that it's sung and the instruments is pretty heavy. So it
Who's it by?
goes like
Who's
uh,
it?
Mac Miller.
I knew you were going to say that, but I just had to check.
So it goes like this: Everybody's got to live, and everybody's got to die. Everybody just want to have a good time. I think you know the reason why. So basically saying live your life to the fullest and treat every day like there's no tomorrow.
Like it's your last.
Yeah,
True that.
Through that.
but I definitely recommend listening to that song.
You know, it's funny too because there's a theme here that we're all trying to,
Yeah.
we're all trying to sort of raise some emotional bar here for everybody. If you could just figure out a way to live your life like music, right? If you could just take the lyrics from the songs you love and live your life exactly that way, because they're smarter than we are when it comes to writing lyrics. And I mean, that's what you fall in love with is that song. I could never have written any of these songs, but they're all very impactful to me yet emotionally, right?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, for
Okay,
sure.
Ace, you get to go with your third.
My third one. Okay, this one is not a happy one. This one is called Eternity by Alex
Tame
Warren.
Impala.
No.
No.
So it goes, hear the clock ticking on the wall, losing sleep, losing track of the tears I cry. Every drop is a waterfall, every breath is a break in the riptide. Oh, how long has it been? I don't know, but it feels like an eternity since I had you here with me, since I had to learn to be someone you don't know. And
Explain it.
that song came out just after Grandma, and so anytime I hear that song, it just like hits a little harder because when you lose people, when you lose people,
Yeah.
you continue with life and you become a different person. Someone they might not, you know, like you become a different person after they go. Yeah,
After
I don't
you're
really know how
gone.
to explain it.
Well, that's
Life continues on and you keep growing.
Yeah,
You guys were young, right? Like, so you're gonna continue on with your lives. Like Jaren's gonna get married and have like, well, you're all gonna get married, but soon, like Jaren's gonna get married, and then him and Hannah are gonna start having kids, and you guys are all gonna continue to grow, and Grandma's gonna miss out on that essentially.
yeah.
yeah,
Well, and that's the funny part, not funny. That's the part that this podcast, we talked in the text the other day, like I'm guaranteeing you she's here looking
Yep.
down. Yeah.
Yep.
See, I told you. I told you she would have some kind of so my third one is Aerosmith. So the chorus that I like is I don't want to close my eyes. I don't want to fall asleep because I'll miss you, babe. I don't want to miss a thing. Even when I dream of you, the sweetest dream will never do. I still miss you, babe, and I don't want to miss a thing. So your mom's right. That like she and I sort of connected with that song 20 years ago. Now I look at it, there's two parts that I look at is um, our family, everybody doesn't want to miss a thing. All I
FOMO.
can think about, right? So is that not true?
I remember when I was younger and you guys would all be sitting around the kitchen table and you guys would
Yep.
send me to bed. I would go right up to my bedroom door and have my ear up like that because I didn't want to miss a thing.
But because I didn't want to miss a thing. And I think our whole family is like that. I mean, my gosh, we travel like a pack because nobody wants to miss out on anything, right? So that's from your mom and I having that dance 20 years ago or however long ago it was, to now where but the other part is my mom, is grandma. So when you're dying, is your last thoughts, I don't want to miss a thing? Like, are you when you're laying there, well, you were there for her last breath. Can you imagine just laying there and going, oh, damn, I didn't want to die now because I'm going to miss out on, I want to see Jaren have kids. I want to see,
Yeah.
so for me, I think that's the new part of the song that I sort of it resonates with me. So I
Mm.
think the song for me, when I talked earlier about as people mature, the song means different things. The maturation is
Mm.
way different for me. This song, it's has got a whole bunch of layers for me. Of course, the latest one is really the hardest one, but it's kind of true if you think about, man, I don't want to miss anything. I should be taking advantage of every opportunity in life. But I think the really important one is just kind of our family where we just sort of travel together because
yeah,
nobody wants to miss out on anything. And when I see people whose families don't get along, and I see people who where brothers and sisters don't communicate, don't talk. I have the most amazing siblings in the world, and we're gonna have Brian on in 3 weeks, the Watts Knox brothers table talk, and we'll just talk about these kinds of things. But yeah, I don't want to. I just don't want to miss a thing. And anyway, the hard part for me is kind of grandma and or just anybody that's passing when your final breath is, are you thinking, man, I'm going to miss out on so much? But the reality is that's a fact of life. You're going to miss out on millions of years of stuff.
Mhm.
You know, you were only here for 80 years or 90 years she was here for. She's going to miss out on stuff, as we all are.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
cool. It's neat how a song or music can mean different things at different points in your life.
I have a
So you probably weren't thinking about that 20 years ago
I
when
was
you were
not.
listening to that
No.
song.
And I wasn't thinking about the family. I was thinking about my daughter 20 years ago, right? Like there was a
Hmm.
activity there with she and I and I wasn't thinking about this whole family concept, but the family concept just sort of overwhelms you at times. And but you're right, like the music has changed meaning for me with exactly the same words from 20 years ago.
Yeah, and I
So
think that's
having
yeah.
having said that, this is something else I was thinking about. This is maybe not something you really want to talk about, but I think one of you, it might have been Hayden, talked about it a little. What do you want played at your funeral? Like, what is if let's say you're on an urn up there and your ashes are in this urn and you've already predetermined that what your thing is going to look like. Have you got a playlist
I
that
do.
you want people to remember you by?
I
Look at
well,
Mason's got his hand.
I already said it earlier, but My Way
Yeah, that
by
was
Frank
you.
Sinatra. That's what I want played. And I want everybody to know that I lived my life to the fullest and I did it
And you
my
did it your
way.
way.
I did it my way with no regrets. Well, a couple, but those don't matter. You
Those
embrace
are
the
lessons, not
mistakes.
regrets.
Exactly. That's what I don't have a playlist yet, but that's a good idea.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Well, but doesn't the song say regrets? I've had a
I've had a
few,
few, but then
but then
again,
again,
too
you to
few to
mention.
mention. Exactly.
Yep, yep.
I don't
I would
know
go
that
with
I know of any songs or that I've actually ever like thought about that. I think sometimes I think about like what I want people to think of me after I go, but I've never like what my legacy is going to be, but I've never thought about like songs specifically. And I think that, well, I hope that when that time comes, that whoever gets to pick those songs, presumably my kids, will know me well enough to pick the songs that meant the most to me, but also that there's like a happy vibe to them. Like
But
that,
only if you tell them, right?
yeah.
So
Oh, I
you
tell them all the time. When they're stuck in a vehicle with me, they know.
we yeah, but let's presume that you're going to live for another 50 years.
Yeah.
Will they in 50 years time will they know that, right? So that's kind of what I think about is I have a list of 6 or 8 songs that are me, that
Yeah.
people identify me with. I didn't pick them because they're this like Love Hurts by Nazareth. Um, there's certain people in this world who go, that's you. When I was a kid growing up, Sylvia's Mother by Dr. Hook was the song I sang all the time. Um, Living Next Door to Alice by Smokey was a song I sang all the time.
Still
People,
is.
yeah, exactly.
yeah.
People identify me with those songs, right? So those are those are the ones I would hope would be, when somebody's up talking about me at my funeral, I'm hoping that those songs are kind of played in the background and people will go, yeah, yeah, you know what? That was him. I remember, him singing that song all the time or whatever. So it doesn't have to be, they don't have to be deep. Like none of those songs are terribly deep. They're all very, they're all just who I am, right? Or who were my favorites. So I know you guys should never ever think about that, but at my age, I start to think about those things and go, yeah, what song do you want played? What do you want people to remember your wake, as, right? All my favorites. So
Yeah.
Noted.
Well, yeah. I have a question going back to kind of an earlier topic about songs having different meanings as your life goes on. Um, Grandpa technically already told him his, but if he has another one, he can say. But can you guys think of a song that its meaning has changed over the course of your life?
Ooh.
Stressed out.
How?
Okay.
Tell us how.
Well, when we would just like blast it in the car on the highway and just like sing it out loud to me, it was just like
It was just a
obviously
song.
I was a little kid, so I didn't really like really care for the meaning of it, you know? I just like we listened to it. I knew the lyrics, pretty catchy, you know?
Yeah.
But so back then it was just like a song, but now it's like about nostalgia and a part like the song is literally about nostalgia, but when I listen to it, I think about singing the song on the highway, which is very nostalgic. So it like has that pretty cool effect to my life, you could say.
Yeah.
All of the songs that I used to listen to, now that I actually pay attention to the lyrics, it's not just the music. They all have a deeper meaning if you look back.
Well,
Yeah.
that's what I was just going to point out is they in some cases they better have a different meaning because you matured from the time you were 6 and you heard a song you were 6 and like Hayden said, you don't you're not into what the lyrics mean. If it's a catchy little song, you like it, you might sing along to it. When you're 26, that song probably might still be your favorite, but it should have a different meaning to you, shouldn't it?
Hmm.
Also
I would
think
think.
Yeah, I can't.
like I also think like sometimes maybe when you're younger, like even like as an 18-year-old, maybe you don't understand the lyrics. And then you start getting life experiences and you start understanding the lyrics more, and that's when they maybe mean a little bit more to you, right?
Hmm.
Like Good Riddance, I think I heard Good Riddance when I was 17 years old. And like I just thought like it was like a cool Green Day song. And
Yeah.
then as life keeps going on, and even when I listened to the lyrics yesterday, because I knew that that was going to be one of my songs, and when I listened to the lyrics yesterday to talk like to figure out what my talking points were going to be, it had a completely different meaning than probably 5 years ago.
I'm surprised you didn't choose Mr. Jones for one of your songs.
Mr. Jones is like my feel good go-to song that I love singing at the top of my lungs no matter what. But like and I know the lyrics, but do the lyrics like mean something to me? The song means something to me, but I don't know about the
The lyrics.
lyrics.
Okay.
That's a good way to frame it.
Yeah.
Sometimes the
Yeah.
song means a lot to you, but the lyrics themselves, you don't dwell on the lyrics, right?
I mean, I
The
know the
opposite.
words because that's how I
You
sing
know
it at the
them,
top of
yeah.
my lungs, but it's literally about a guy sitting at a bar. Like, I don't know.
Yeah. I guess. I guess for how music has changed throughout, like when I was younger, I would listen to Rage Against the Machine, and I just thought it was like some badass, hardcore, rock.
Yeah.
But now I realized it was more about uh, not rebellion against the government, but like calling the government out on how they've mistreated society, I guess,
Right. Yeah.
in some sort of way.
But it's funny
There's more
because
to it, but
at my age, Darren, my political views have changed significantly in the last 5 years, the last 1 year, and
mhm,
the music that's gone along with that is better changed too, right? Um,
yeah,
so maybe you weren't interested in any sort of kind of political type songs from like Neil Young or that he's always been very, very political and but the more your political views change, the more your music tastes change. As a matter of fact, things, and maybe this shouldn't happen, but I used to be okay with Kid Rock. Like I used to like some of his stuff. Now I think he's a raving lunatic, and I don't even bother to listen to his songs. And that's just a political opinion. He's not a lunatic. He just has his political views that are completely different than mine.
Yeah.
And you probably might want to edit that part out, Mason, because you're not supposed to say that on YouTube. But you see what I'm saying? Like somebody that you what's the same as a movie? If you watch a movie and go, God, I love that movie, and then you find out the guy that was doing it is a creep and a pedophile, you go, ooh, I'm not ever going to watch that movie again, or I'm never going to
Yeah.
promote movies by that guy. Well, you would do the same with music, right?
Well, this
Yeah.
is a perfect example. Christine and I are going to the Rise Against concert on Tuesday. And when I first started listening to Rise Against, I just thought that they had like some pretty powerful lyrics, but like that they were just like a good alternative, kind of heavy alternative band. But if you listen to their lyrics, they're very political. Like those guys are political. And I'm not a political person. I don't I tried not to be because I don't have enough like information or knowledge about it. But I don't know. If you listen to Hero of War by Rise Against, you will feel the politics.
Right, exactly. And that's a good. So when Jamie was here the other day, not maybe it was even last time when we visited in Alberta, I was playing Whiskey in the Jar by Metallica.
Yeah,
He looked at me and he goes, "You like that song?" I said, "Yeah, I love that song." He goes, "Do you remember when I was like 16, I would play that song?"
on
And he would
repeat.
scream at me to turn that stupid crap off. So, so that's music in a nutshell, isn't it?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
you were also the one that bought the Nirvana Unplugged CD that all of us kids would fight over having in our room because it was the single coolest album. I
Yeah.
still believe to this day Nirvana Unplugged is
Yeah.
one of the greatest albums, and you
Oh,
bought
yeah,
it.
exactly.
So this is a funny story. So I had to take Hayden and Helena on a bit of a detour to get to West Edmonton Mall yesterday because I had to go get hot tub supplies. And Arctic Spa is right by the old parking lot or the old HMV building. And so we were like had to go around like that back road to go back out onto Gateway Boulevard. And you know exactly the road I'm talking about because we used to have to take that road when we would go to HMV. And I was telling them that like we would go to HMV, and first of all, Hayden's like, "What's HMV?" I'm like,
Oh
"Oh my
God.
gosh." And you and Shirley would like if we went into Edmonton, all of us, you and Shirley would take us to that HMV and we would spend hours in there sifting through like movies and CDs
There's
and it was
still
just
there's still a HMV in the West Ed.
oh Hayden, we should have went there yesterday.
But in those days they would give you like they had headphones, right?
Yeah, you could go
Headphones
listen.
racks. You could put on the headphones and you could listen to an album or part of an album. Some people just seemed to me like they would just go in there in the morning and listen to music all day and take up all the headphone space. But yeah, that was true too, right?
Yeah.
Now that see there, so you have a memory of that will never go away because every time you drive by that spot, you go, "That's where HMV used to be,"
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. And we also saw something really cool yesterday, right by the Tip Top Taylor or DSW or something. There's a Sunshine Records. And there was
Oh
people
yeah.
in a record store flipping through records. And I just like I said to Hannah, I'm like, that makes me feel so happy. It made me feel so happy to walk by a record store and watching people like flip through like
You didn't
records.
you didn't go in there?
No, we kind of were Hayden had like 25 bags. We were on a mission.
That's my favorite thing to do when for Christmas when I got the lads some records. I spent like 30 minutes in there. But speaking of records, I have about that many records that grandma gave me. So I still have to go through them all.
What the
It'd be
heck?
interesting to listen to what she was listening to back in the day.
Which grandma?
Grandma
Audrey.
Audrey. Yeah, when they were moving out of their house, she
Oh,
gave me
wow.
all of her vinyl records, and it's a
You
huge
son of a
stack.
gun.
We should do that together.
Yeah, I can bring them
'Cause-
over.
Yeah, because I gave you a bunch. I gave Uncle Jamie a bunch of records. I got
Guys.
some- No, we know. We shouldn't be talking about this on the podcast, but you'll get there's still some left for you to go through.
Okay.
But you know what I would, because we talked about this on the first podcast. We started with music in 1960, when I first started listening to music.
We
I
can go
would be
back.
every one of
past that.
those albums would tell a story
Oh yeah,
first, right? Every
Yeah.
because they never had a record player for the last 20, 30 years. They haven't. So those records would all be 60s, 70s, maybe some 80s vintage, right?
hmm
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
but
they-
I remember the record player downstairs in their basement. I'll tell you that right now.
Yeah, exactly.
they're definitely pretty worn, but I'll send you guys some pictures.
Guaranteed of that. They're
Yeah.
worn. They're loved.
So I think this was mentioned from the last episode for music, but ever since we did that episode, have you guys kind of looked at or listened to music like differently, or
No,
like kind of like
No.
had more appreciation for some things?
I've always
Uh,
appreciated it.
Yeah.
But have
Like-
you appreciated what we talk? And Hayden's right, because I got to go listen to the Mac Miller album. I would have never done that without this podcast.
I would
So-
like to. I'd like to be there when you listen. Could do
Yeah.
a live reaction. How about that?
Sure.
Grandpa reacts. So I'll have to come to your house when you guys get back, and then we could listen to it together. I think that'd be fun.
But that's what the whole idea behind this is, right? Is we understand and appreciate other people's tastes and where they're coming from. It's okay to say, "Ooh, I hate that song," or "I hate that." But then when you listen to somebody else's complete perspective on it, you go, "Well, I still don't like it, but I can appreciate where somebody else likes it," right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It goes
Hayden,
back
do
to
you, Hayden, do you feel like you listen to music differently since that first podcast? Is that why you were asking?
No, I was just, well, somewhat, because I still listen to music the same way I did before, but like similar to what Grandpa just said, just kind of like the different perspectives on different music, if that makes sense.
So that means
I
you're not
would
going to
like-
get as mad at me when I play MGK now in the kitchen.
Well, that's different.
Oh.
I would like to think that, we talked about it last time. Sometimes when you sit down and listen to music, you're listening to the lyrics. You might even pause the song. If you're playing it on an LP, you might replay it again to make sure you heard it the way you thought you heard it. And other times you just listen to it for the sake of listening to it. Luis was telling me the other day, he really, really likes classical music, and he'll just put on a classical music record. Well, you're not listening to the words.
There are no words.
Yeah, exactly. But you're getting some emotion from that record,
Yeah.
right? Whether it's a calming influence or whether it brings back a memory from 20 years ago. But he listens to classical music a lot.
Well-
It's soothing, and
You can even feel the emotion that the musician, well, obviously, was portraying through how they played the instruments. Like
agreed.
there is a language. It's not
Not spoken.
like verbal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have one classical
Play through
song
an
in my
instrument.
playlist, and it's 16 minutes long.
Really?
Yeah.
Jeez.
So you can
It's,
listen
So,
to it on the way to work and on the way home.
yeah, well, I don't usually, but if it comes on, I'm like, oh, all right, here we go.
Mason's usually listening to some JV&B on his way home. Always
Yeah, I
send
am.
me videos of him blasting it in his car while singing. It's pretty funny.
so Hayden, you haven't started listening to albums front to back since I mentioned that last podcast?
Well, I have, yeah,
Okay.
Which
yeah.
one?
Which albums?
Yeah.
I feel like I've gone through some like a few more Mac Miller albums. Because like before I just had like a select few songs, but now it's kind of like exploded with Mac Miller. So
I
That's
listened
my
to a
favorite thing
couple
to do
albums
is
since then too.
just listening from start to finish on a full album. It's my favorite thing to do.
But sometimes one
Story.
song, sometimes one song is a hook, right?
Mm.
Maybe
oh
you
yeah, for
listen to
sure.
that one song enough, and then you go, man, there's got to be more to it. So maybe you listen to the whole album and go, holy mackerel, that's
Oh yeah,
but you have to give this, it's a very patient driven thing to listen to an album, right?
it is. It
Yeah.
is.
You
I
talked
remember.
about it.
I remember when I was in college when I first like found out about Mac Miller's Swimming album. That was like, so I was playing music on YouTube and it just has like autoplay or whatever. And one of his songs came on, and it was the main song off of the album he just released. But I didn't listen to any of his other songs, so I just put that one song in my playlist. And I was driving home from Nate, and that song came on the playlist. I'm like, wonder what the rest of this music is like. So I went into that album on that same drive, and I just started it, and I was like, whoa, this is what I've been missing out on, eh?
Yep, exactly.
Whoa.
It's definitely like a mind boggling. And then ever since then, if I truly love a song, I'll like for any artist, I'll try and listen from start to finish and see what message they're trying to portray.
And they're not, they all, like you said last time, they all tell a story in a different way. Some of them you have to listen to front to back to get the complete, it's like chapters in a book. Each song is a chapter. You wouldn't open a book and read the ninth chapter and expect to get, right? They don't all do that. Some of them are just a bunch of songs, but some artists are very firm on how the sequence of the song,
Structure.
and then they write certain songs to fit into an album that's already in their head somewhere.
Yeah, they can become very articulate.
Are you guys actively searching for new music to listen to, or are you guys just you listen to what you have, and then if a new song comes on, you're like, okay, that's pretty good.
I am. So on Apple Music, there's a thing that you can just play like Jaron Watts station. So it plays music that is similar to the music I already listened to, but it's not the same. So it'll like give me recommendations essentially. And I
Spotify
just have
does that
going.
too. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. I got into the
You
blues
know, you know my
recently.
answer, Mason. You know my answer.
Yep, I do.
I'm only playing 60s and 70s stuff.
Yep.
They don't make 70s music anymore because it's not the 70s anymore.
Yeah.
And yet, having said that, all of the songs that I picked for today were all Good Night, Good Guy was 1993.
90s and up.
Yeah, the 90s to early 2000s were all three of the songs. So I didn't pick any 60s and 70s songs, or even 80s, and I'm not sure exactly why. For
Is that
me,
because it's
Wow.
more so the music or like the
yeah,
lyrics don't resonate?
I think the 60s and 70s stuff was, for me anyway, was a lot more sing along. The David Gates and Brad the one I snuck in, I think was like 1970. So there was one that, but there's also one. It was I was researching this week for songs to put on there, and it came across the interview from one of the band members of Bread, whose dad, his dad had been in the band. And he was the one who said that David Gates wrote that song for his dad, not for a girl. And he looks to be in his maybe 50-ish. So his dad was in the band Bread in the 60s and 70s. And he said it's just funny how, so I probably wouldn't have known that had I not been researching a little bit of music for this particular podcast. So if nothing else, you've sort of expanded your knowledge. One thing I laugh about all the time is people trying to figure out Hotel California, and they're trying to figure out the lyrics for it, and the band members that wrote it are not there. There's no chance are they going to ever tell anybody what that song is about. They've been very, very secretive. The Eagles have been very secretive about the lyrics for Hotel California. Now, is it just a compilation of random thoughts that they put into one of the biggest selling songs ever, or is there a story behind Hotel California? But even today, if you ask any of the band members that are still alive, they either don't know or they won't tell. But it isn't. I like the song, I like it a lot, but I don't try and put any meaning into it, because if they don't know what it's about, how am I going to know what it's about?
Maybe they want to leave it
Perspective,
up
right?
for interpretation or
Yeah.
perspective. Exactly. Maybe that's what
Everybody
they
has
want.
one.
Yeah, and maybe they want 100 people to view that song 100 different ways, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe it has more power that way, more impact.
Well,
I think songs
I
do.
think all music has an impact way more than any other. We talked about social media last time. We talked about movies, and we talked about other things that occupy time, space, and nothing does it like music. Nothing has a daily impact like music. Nothing has a global reach like music. You look at bands that have, like the Beatles, when they first came around, they were just instantly global sensations and stayed that way for life. And I'm sure that people are going to be disappointed when they watch this podcast and listen to my three choices, that I left some obvious ones out, like John Lennon, Imagine was easily my favorite song in 1970, along with
Yeah.
500 other songs that were my favorites in 1970. But Imagine was very political. First of all, I liked the song, but as I got older, I liked the music. I liked what it stood for. But if you really want to know a song, listen to the critics of it, and that will tell you what other people are thinking about that same song that you really, really, really like.
Yeah.
Like Imagine is very socialistic. It's almost it's almost communistic in a way, where you talk about sharing everything with the world, and you talk about peace and love. And in today's news, if you read the news this morning, there isn't a whole lot of any of that going on right now. But there are critics of Imagine, and that would say it's one of the worst songs ever written.
And that's because they don't agree with that political opinion, or
Exactly. That's exactly it. And I also read the critiques yesterday. I read some critiques on I Don't Want to Miss a Thing by Aerosmith. And there was a lady who wrote that song that she wrote 4 or 5 other big hits for other people. And U2 was actually going to perform that song. They had been picked originally to do it. And then when Liv Tyler was hired to play the part in the movie, I don't know. I don't remember if she asked if Aerosmith could do it, or whether they liked the idea of Aerosmith. And Aerosmith was on tour, and they dragged him into the studio to do that song, and they hadn't prepared really well for it. I wish we would have had more prepare for it. But if you read critiques on it. Like some people just think it's bubblegum fluff, it's garbage, it's just another piece of drool that came out of,
Yeah.
somebody's, but that's all music, right? Every song, you could say the same. There's not many songs that I think that would be truly held up to a standard that every single person that listened to it would love it. I just don't think, I think that's pretty
I
rare.
don't think that's even possible, is it?
Awesome. No, I don't know. Maybe it's not. I'm not
Sweet
sure,
Caroline.
I don't know how it is. Everyone's so different, and everyone has like different likes and values and opinions, and like how does everybody like one song? I don't think it's possible.
Here's another question. So one of my favorite songs is Runaway Train by
Mhm,
Soul Asylum. I love Runaway
mhm.
until I understood what it's about, and then I didn't really like it all that much. And it's not that I hate the subject matter. The subject matter is a bit disturbing, and it's about kids being abducted and stuff. And I never really thought, when I first listened to it, the first 5 years I listened to it, I never put two and two together, that I didn't even know what it was about. And then when I finally read what it was about, it was not that it's disturbing in that kind of way. It's very soulful song, but it's hard for me to listen to it in the same way that when I heard it the first time, which is
So
really
do you think it's maybe not necessarily a good thing to actually read what the true meaning of the song is, and to maybe leave it for your own interpretation?
That was going to be my next question. Do you have any songs that you really, really liked, and when you found out what they were about, you didn't like, or conversely, something that you never really liked and somebody talked you into looking at it from a different way, and then you liked it? So that Runaway Train would be easily that one song. I'm sure there's others, but it would be that one song for me that um, I can appreciate the band, but I can't, the message, the message is pretty dark.
I think I can honestly say that I personally have never looked up what the true meaning of a song was. Like, I
I do
don't
it
think
all the
I've
time.
ever.
My brain does not work that way, Kelly. My brain has to know what.
Yeah, I do that all the time.
Yeah, I
I
was gonna say,
do a lot of deep dives as well into
yep.
the songs, but I
Has it
don't think
ruined
that
anything for you, Karen?
I was gonna say I don't think it's ruined anything. No, not yet.
No,
Cross my fingers.
It's changed
Hey.
my perspectives on some songs, but it hasn't
Right?
ruined
Yeah.
it.
Perspectives, but yeah, it hasn't. I don't stop listening to the
So
music.
do you know,
I like
do you
it.
know Runaway Train? Have you listened to it
No, I don't. I don't know that song.
by Soul Asylum?
You've never heard that song
I'll-
before?
Well, maybe I don't recognize the name.
I think you've probably heard it. You probably just don't realize that you've heard it.
Mason, have you?
Yeah, like I'd have to.
I think I have, because it's in my playlist from you, so I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure I've heard it.
Definitely haven't, but
Hayden, do you actually research the meaning of songs, or am I the only one that doesn't?
I sometimes do, only if like the meaning is like super unclear. It's like, hey, what the heck does that line mean, you know? Because like just something like super random. So like, okay, what's the reasoning behind this? And then I find out, and now when I hear that line, I go like, oh, it's not some weird line. It's actually, it has like a meaning to it, you know?
So it did influence you then.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Or
okay.
yeah, just to
Yeah.
have like an actual better understanding of what it means.
Yeah, there's a lot of times I'll listen to a song, and the first time I don't pick up the lyrics, but like it's a good beat, and like the lyrics sound good, and then I'll listen to it again and look it up, and then once I know the lyrics, I like it way better.
Yeah,
And
I
I like
agree.
to, like, there's another, I remember a friend of mine came to me, this goes back to like the early 2000s. And he said, and he knew that I was really into music and looking up stuff all the time. He goes, have you ever heard of a song, a group called Four Non Blondes? And I'm going, yeah, I think I've heard that song. Well, what's the most played song in the last 25 years is Four Non Blondes, right? But then I looked it up and I looked up she's the lead singer for the Four Non Blondes. And she's a political activist. So those, like, as soon as I get my teeth into something, and I love the song, but I have to understand, what the song's about, and I have to. If you watch the video, sometimes the videos do sometimes a good job of explaining it. Other times they don't. The video and the song don't necessarily correlate, but sometimes the videos tell you the story as well. So would you rather listen to a song with a video or without? Just in its if you have an LP, then you're not obviously
Ooh,
listening to the video.
it's funny.
I grew
When
up
I was young,
watching music videos. I love them.
yeah, when I was younger, that was the main way that I would take music in, was through music videos, because I would just sit on the computer on YouTube and just look up a song, and then obviously that song would have a music video, so I would watch the music video with the song. That's what I did for the longest time when I first started listening to music on my own.
I also just thought of a song that the meaning for me changed when I learned the lyrics, and that's Under the Bridge by Red Hot Chili Peppers, because I loved that song when I was in junior high. I loved
Oh
it.
yeah,
And then when I learned that it was about Anthony Kiedis doing heroin under a bridge, it didn't make me not like the song, but it made me like understand it a lot differently.
I can agree on that one. Yeah, same.
But every
Yeah,
song out there has got a meaning to it, right?
Has to,
Nobody,
otherwise it wouldn't
nobody,
have been written.
nobody
Well,
writes the song. There's some are there. So I remember reading somewhere about in the 60s, it was really, really popular to create bands out of nothing for a certain reason. So the Monkees were created as a band to go against the Beatles. So, and the Beatles were British and the Monkees were American, right? So they threw some artists together. The Archies were a band that was created just for the cartoons. For the Archies had a cartoons in the 60s, right? And they had
Mhm.
that song Sugar Sugar. It was the biggest hit of like 1968 period, or one of, but they were
Hmm.
created just for cartoon, just for the music or the TV industry, right? So
mhm.
a lot of times the studios throw together a band just to make one song, make one, maybe
One hit
they,
wonders.
yeah, and maybe the group stick, for advertising. There's a lot of times in the 70s and 80s where a group was thrown together to sell products or sell something on television or the radio. So I don't think you see as much of that today. I don't with there's so many other venues for music. We talked about last time, we talked about the TV shows like America's Got Talent, that in the 60s, 70s, 80s, you would have never had an opportunity. There's probably artists that are sitting there going, man, oh man, if I would have just had a show to promote my music or let me get an audience, I would have been famous, right?
Wasn't that like what American Bandstand or the Buddy Holly show was though? Didn't
No, they were not promoting unknowns. They were promoting bands, or the bands that were already put together. Like
oh.
something we were going to talk about last time, when I was growing up, we talked about music videos. So there was a show there was two shows called, one was called Midnight Special, and the other one was called, I forget the name of it. One was on Friday night, one was on Saturday night, and they had, um, the bands of the day, the big bands come on and perform, but only one song. Like the Midnight Special would be on Friday, and it would be from 11 till 12 or 11 till 1. And it would have like the Guess Who would come on and the Eagles would come on and that kind of thing. And that was the only time you ever got to see the bands. But it was always it was bands that were already together, that were already famous. I don't remember ever seeing this show in the 70s or 80s where it was like, hey, you're a you're an artist trying to make it, come on to our show. Not like America's Got Talent or one of those
American
shows,
Idol or whatever, yeah.
Idol or whatever. Yeah.
What is the saddest song you guys know?
Oh my gosh.
Jeez.
Wow.
What's the
I just
happiest
told-
song you guys know?
Don't worry,
This
be
one,
happy.
Perfect Circle.
Huh?
That's the saddest one. The saddest one? You said what's the saddest song?
Yeah.
And I said Perfect Circle / Godspeed. So it's basically a song about knowing that an artist is gonna die from an overdose,
Oh,
but
Whoa.
he's wanting, somebody to kind of help him out, and then he actually does die from an overdose in real life.
is that Mac
Wow.
Miller?
Yeah, it's a very deep song.
Holy
but
man.
It's
I'm
a
really
really,
getting
really
classy
good
here.
one. Yes.
I think my one song I already told you guys. Don't want to miss a thing. If there's a song in the world that could be both emotionally uplifting and happy and sad at the same time, that's it for me. In spades.
Man, sad song. I don't know. I don't know.
And Jaron, just so you know, nowadays when I go on YouTube 3, 4, 5 times a week, and I just research music on YouTube, and I just go through YouTube. That's my favorite way to listen to music now, because I want to see the people playing. I don't want to listen to it anymore. So I've been really looking at a lot of 60s and 70s old videos that I think we told you in episode 1 that were only out in Europe, and they never came available to the North American public till years and years and years later. So it's funny you watch a band that you really, really liked from Germany. They did a thing in Germany in 1967, and you never saw it until the 80s, right? So
Yeah. Well, that's actually one of my favorite pastimes, is putting on live performances on YouTube. Like,
Yeah.
I love watching
me too.
artists play live, because I'm not able to go to a concert every
Exactly.
single day, or from the past, even like a concert from the past. And so I just throw it up on YouTube, and I do like the live versions a lot better. I feel like they're more real.
I have Arctic
Obviously,
Monkeys
less edited.
live playlist in my playlist. They posted like a playlist of a live performance they did. So I get to imagine I'm listening to them live.
Apple actually, like Apple Music, they sometimes record live performances and have it up on YouTube as well. And they do a good job with like sound quality and the
But is
visuals.
the videos there as well?
Yeah, like it's a live performance that Apple records, but they make sure that it's done really well.
It's like in an Apple Music studio or something like that, right?
Oh no, it's in a
Could be
live audience.
concert venue.
Oh. What's that one sessions thing that you always listen to? The table, what is it? Where they're in that really small room?
Oh, Tiny Desk Concert.
Yeah, that one's also really cool.
Yeah, I've never heard of that one. No.
Mason, your sad song for me, I just thought of one, is Better Man by Pearl Jam. And I think they're
Better
essentially
Man.
singing about a woman who feels like she just has to settle for what she can get, and that she never has confidence enough to find somebody better. And
Whoa.
it's pretty darn sad.
Sad song that I could think of is gonna be
Stressed
Goner.
out.
Goner.
What, Hayden?
Goner.
Toner and
Oh.
Pilots.
Same album as Stressed Out, but yeah.
I think that's
You know what
Very
song you
clever.
also used to think was really sad was 7 Years.
That is a sad one.
Yeah, that is. I don't know why, but at my gym, they played that song for some reason. It's like, why are they playing this at the gym? But like, I was in the change room because I just finished, and I was like, you know what? I guess so.
Another
just like
sad
a
song that like you wouldn't
Very
think.
enjoyable
Well,
song as well.
Cats in the Cradle. Whenever I listen to that, I'm like, "Whoa, this is kind of a
Yeah,
sad
Yeah,
song."
that's pretty sad.
Yeah.
I remember
that
that song used to play at the arcade in Rimby all the time when I was there playing Mortal Kombat and Street Fighter.
And then
Cats
that
in the
song
Cradle
play.
would come on. Yeah.
What a perfect song.
Dad, you should listen to 7 Years by Lucas Graham. I think you would have like a pretty.
He's gonna have a list. He's gonna have a list to
Yeah,
listen
you're
to.
gonna have a list.
Yeah,
have
I'll
lots
send
of
that one
stuff
in
to
the.
listen
I'll
to.
send that one in the group chat right now.
Stay tuned. Don't miss out on the Knox Watts Brothers podcast. The five of us should be interesting, hopefully funny, and we're going to learn a lot about each other as brothers.
Yes, we will.
Yes, we will.